The famous German philosopher Hegel once said, quote, "The only thing we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history." Quote unquote. A similar quote from a Chinese emperor from Tang Dynasty, quote, "Use bronze to create a mirror. You can check your appearance. Use other people as a mirror. You can understand gain and loss. Use history as a mirror. You can understand why a country fails or succeeds." Unquote. History is important, especially at this moment, when there are so much division, confusion in society. Where is America heading for? We all need to find out the answer. I think the answer is very simple. It just lies in the history. You just need to look for it. That's exactly the reason why I created this channel. America people need history lessons, especially history of other countries. The Soviet Union and the Cold War have been nightmare for generations of American people. But that's long ago. Even the collapse of Soviet Empire has been 3 decades now. The memories of those days no longer exist in younger generation. China, the other socialist country, now considered the biggest rivalry and is about to surpass US in GDP. It's worthwhile to take a close look. Counting from Shang Dynasty, where the first character on tortoise shell has been discovered, China has a history of roughly 3,300 years. If counting from Qin Shi Huang, who united China for the first time, that's 2,200 years. Others claim China has 5,000 years of history according to the ancient fairy tales and stories. But that theory lacks archaeological proof. US, on the other hand, have less than 250 years counting from independence in 1776. So it's 3,000 years versus 250 years of US history, 12 times longer, right? Wait a minute. Let's take a look back at US history. The Mayflower arrived in America in 1620. That is 400 years old. Christopher Columbus' expedition started in 1492. That is 530 years ago. The indigenous people started inhabiting in North America 10,000 years ago. That's, of course, all parts of US history. By simply comparing, the length of history is very misleading. Look back at Chinese history. China, in Chinese character, means country of the center. For centuries, Chinese people believe China is the center of the world. Till this day, there aren't any large-scale immigration from outside of China. The Chinese civilization is a closed monoracial system. However, it had been conquered twice by other inferior civilizations, 1320 by Mongolians and again by Manchu in 1644. The Chinese has hardly contributed to any inventions in the past 200 years or beyond. We will explain why in the following videos. Then came the Marxism in early 20th century from Russia. Through 10 years of a cultural revolution in the last days of Chairman Mao, CCP has largely eradicated Chinese culture by tearing down temples and burning down historic artifacts and documents. All Chinese tradition culture, including Confucianism, is deemed anti-socialism at that time. All need to be eliminated. In the US, the European pilgrims brought with them the language, science, art, and the Bible. All this has root back to the ancient Greek civilizations and Renaissance. That is more than 3,000 years of history. Till this day, US is still welcoming immigrants from all over the world. We should be proud that US has its roots in all civilizations. That's why US has contributed to so many of most influential inventions in modern day history: airplane, electric light, telephone, computer, etc. History is hard. There are a lot of falsehood in Chinese history. In China, For the past 3,000 years of monarchy, writing history has been strictly controlled by the ruling emperor. The winner become the king and the loser become the rogue. CCP is no different than that. Propaganda and brainwash is a very important part of communism. Any history of numbers provided by CCP needs to be carefully studied. History is hard. You can look at it from different angles. This channel will try to clear the myths and bring you the right angle and do comparisons so that you don't get lost in history and you will be able to focus on key facts and answer the critical questions we are facing today. If you feel interested in those topics and like my video, please feel free to subscribe and share. Post questions and comments so I can make more relevant videos. Thank you.